What's up, everyone? It's Aaron Prinz, and you're looking at my screen at $130 disaster, and I want to take you with me along the road and tell you what happened, how I fixed it, and how you can benefit from that. Before I dive too deep into that, I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube game, but from all the videos that I've seen, I've learned to ask you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down the line, and let me know what you think of the video. And I want to know how you are using Paperclip in your business, okay? Let's just dive right in. So you're looking at my screen here. First disclaimer I always give on Paperclip is I'm running a specific Electron app that I've created that I'm running. I might be looking into open sourcing that soon. It's already a PR on Paperclip itself, but and I have some cool tweaks that you might not have in your dashboard, but that's not what this is about. This is about me being in the field and showing you what I'm doing and how you can extract that information from me through these videos. If you want specific consultancy, specific guidance on Paperclip, feel free to reach out to me on x.com/Aaron Prinz with one A, ARONPRINS, and I'll be happy to see if I can just, give you some quick tips and tricks, point you where you need to be, or if you really need to dive deep. But let's dive deep into this. So a couple days ago, I uploaded a video about a new company that I'm started in Paperclip. It's in Dutch, so if you're Dutch, you can kind of read along, but otherwise you have to take my word for it, that this is a disaster. If we look at issues, as I scroll down, and you can see it has already done a lot of work since the last recording that I did about this specific company, but I did a little analysis through Claude, and Claude told me too this is a disaster because the CEO of this company was not acting the way that it should have been. It made some really funny remarks, but the gist of it is that I was a QA tester for the CEO. So the CEO would report to me, say, "Hey, Aaron, it's done." And I go check it out, and it sucked, and the work was bad, and the quality was bad. It wasn't checked at all. And I just emailed back like, "Hey, why aren't you doing this? Why does this suck?" And I was specifically surprised because the first video I did on Paperclip was for my traffic exchange script. And that company is running like a breeze. Right now, it is working on SEO, and it's generating backlinks for me. And we have a content plan. It's automatically publishing content on the site. It's doing all this cool stuff, and it's really autonomously running the company for me. So why am I struggling so bad with this? And I thought maybe it's that the fact that it's in Dutch. Maybe, that must be it. Maybe it doesn't understand. And then I was talking to my wife. She was working on her own project. And it's like, she does everything in Dutch. I'm like, wait a second. I said, do you prompt in Dutch? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I have to, that's not the issue. So, and if you watched my previous videos, I always advocate for being lazy, and it turned around and bit me in the butt because, when I started looking at the agents for this company, if we look at the screen behind Paperclip here, that's VS Code. And, as you can see, this was the soul of the CEO. On the left, you see the old version, and that's the red one, and then the green one is the one that I'm starting to run with now. What I did was I had Claude analyze both of the companies, so the traffic exchange script one and this Dutch one, which I won't pronounce in English because it just doesn't work. But I was comparing the two, and it said, oh, wait, it's this, that, and the other thing. And me being lazy, not doing this earlier, I should have, right? But it was basically, as you can see, that the two files are completely different. Right here was just a very basic Paperclip onboarding soul, where this one on my right is much more detailed, much more fine-grained and in tune with the platform, like the traffic exchange script one was. And what I actually did, if we scroll down, like it's 3 pages versus the one little snippet. And that is throughout, this is the CMO, the marketing officer. That had 56 lines, and now it has 80 or 81. That's a big difference in instruction on how you run the company through the agents, right? If they're fundamentally broken then all the output's going to be broken as well. And the funny thing is, and we all know in life how this goes, I always advise the people, tweak your agents, continuously tweak your agents. I'm not sure why I didn't do it myself, but again, I had Claude deep dive into it, and it fully updated the entire company for me. It's running now, and I'm going to have to see what the results are. But it was delivering like broken CSS, broken HTML. I have it connected with my server, and it's directly pushing live because it's still in development. It's not making any money yet, which is fine with me. And I said, hey, update this header. And now there's just text. Like there's no styling at all. And it's horrible, absolutely horrible. So, and I thought of an opportunity. I said, well, maybe I can extract the learnings from all of this and put it in a playbook. And that's exactly what I've done. So if I switch here, here is my Paperclip AI Company Playbook. Somewhere in the description of this video, wherever you're watching this, is going to be a link to the GitHub repository for this playbook. It contains the playbook, as you can see here, what's included. It contains the README, which is the playbook file itself. And then there's templates for the CEO, for the worker agent, the company, and with some defaults that you can start working off of. Okay. You can copy the templates, fill in the brackets, and you have a working company. Now, of course, the trick is going to be, are you going to do that? No. What you're going to do is you're going to create your company in a Paperclip. It's going to hire its founding engineer. And what you're then going to do is you're going to locate where that folder is on your hard drive. You're going to download a copy, a zip file of this playbook. You're going to put that in your working folder where that your agent has access to, your CEO, and then you're going to instruct it, hey, read this playbook, read these templates, and apply that through the company as it stands now and in the future. Just keep that playbook zip there so that it can reference that in the future, so it can put it in its heartbeat. Or actually see my agent working there, and it's updating some templates that I asked it to. So fingers crossed that it's good. But that's what you should do with the playbook. Put it in the working folder. How to use it? Read it yourself. That's very important. I want you to understand what this is. It explains why each template exists and what it prevents. Then copy them and customize them for your company. Have your CEO handle that. But the core principle is the agent checks its own work. This is not something that I came up with. I'm not even sure that I'm going to mention a cool name here. I'm blanking out, literally having a blackout. Ryan. Oh, well, I'll put his details in the Ryan Carson on X to follow him. He's a Greek guy. And he is one of the people that really pushed the Ralph loop out there. And what he always says is the way to make a Ralph loop work is to have it check its own work. And, you have by Sawyer Hood, the dev browser skill, which is to me fundamental now in my day-to-day business, even outside of all this Paperclip stuff. Because I have a couple of screens here, working on multiple projects at the same time. And the output quality has significantly increased by giving the agents the ability to check their own work, even in the browser, even if it's live, right? So it checks their own work, self-check worker in Heartbeat, and layer 2, the CEO then checks the agent works, the quality control gate. So, if either layer is missing, the founder becomes the Q&A department. And that's what happened to me. My CEO is emailing me. We email, we as if it's a person, but we email, about the day-to-day of the company. I look at the previous day's work. I verify if I like that. And then based on that, I send the day's brief, and it just starts working on that. But if that is missing, and that's what happened with this company, I went to check the next day, and it just, again, the work was horrible. Before your company starts operating, every file below must exist. It's the tools, it's the heartbeat, it's the soul, it's the project inventory. It prevents agents recreating the work. I'm not going to read the whole playbook for you. I want you to go to the repo, and do what I just said, download it, put it in your work folder. But I want you to read through it and actually understand what's going on. The soul, you need to go through that, the worker agents, the self-check before done. the anti-patterns that this playbook prevents. There's a whole bunch of things that actually happened to me in this process that I want to help you with and prevent that from happening. Here we go. The checklist before going live, etc., etc., etc. Lessons from production with explicit boundaries. We are not X, we are Y. That will really help you your agents from going rogue and doing the stuff you don't want to do. Again, if I look at my main example company, the traffic exchange script, I've had some examples where it went and acted as if it ran a traffic exchange site rather than being one level. We're selling the shovels, right? We're not shoveling ourselves. So it was starting to act and operate like a traffic exchange owner. And doing all the work related to that, which is good if I was running a traffic exchange itself. The pre-creation gate, 4 questions. Any task creation prevents busy work. I've had the traffic exchange one at the end. I had a little error that said an empty queue is a bad queue, and it started up filling its queue because of that, and it just started creating BS that I'm never going to use. Phase completion as a success without idle is fine. The CEO treats idle agents as failure and generates waste. Project inventory is mandatory reading, very important, prevents duplicate deliverables. Agents don't know what exists, will recreate it. That's also something that I highly recommend you do, is instruct your agents to look at each other's work, to again ensure that, it doesn't recreate what's already there or versions of what's already there that you did not approve. Verification, etc. Rules as footnotes fail. No agent self-check or failures. Feedback loops that don't close. Format mismatches. Explorations as deliverables. All that sort of stuff. It generates waste. It wastes your time and prevents both you and your newly gathered team from doing actual work that you want done in your business. So the gist of it is I wasted a lot of time, a lot of money, about a week. And I actually, the reason why, if we go to my paperclip, why the amount is so low, because I got so frustrated that I just paused everything. And it stopped working multiple times. Okay. And I just tried to go in and I tried to correct the CEO without realizing, and being the lazy guy that I am. I know. It nipped me in the butt, and I was too lazy in this case. And I learned from it, and I'm sharing that with you here now in this video. Again, I would love to hear what you're using Paperclip for, so leave a comment below. Follow me on X. Subscribe here. I'm doing more videos throughout the days and weeks that I'm using Paperclip. I'll also be onboarding some more of my existing companies that are generating revenue, because these 3 that I have right now started from scratch, so I'm still, finding my ground here, but I'm already seeing that I can deploy it for, customer support, for content production and publication and management. It's really, really good at that, especially if you have a good hierarchy, a good organization going, that also knows how to work together based on your instructions, based on all the agents, the CEO, etc. Again, I'm going in circles. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a great day.